He kōna I purangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
It's one thing to make an effort to be thrifty.
People are still trying as much as they can to save money.
And just trying to be, I guess, smart about how do we spend.
But when you're doing it in a new country, there are extra challenges.
For us, heating would be the main thing.
Growing your own food during the summer is also very important.
Kia ora, I'm Katy Gosset and welcome to Thrift. Our saying in this episode is a Samoan proverb. Ia tupu I se fusi. It expresses a wish, usually to children, that they grow and prosper in wet soil like the taro plant. The broader meaning is a hope that they'll thrive even in challenging environments and emerge stronger. And in fact, far from Samoa, the taro plant is now taking root in the soil of Mid-Canterbury, where I've come to meet Ashburton's growing Pasifika community. Growing in more ways than one.
Yeah, so this is the Ashburton community garden. So this used to be just bushes, whole lot of grass. As you can see, there's planting taro already in the corner here.
We'll come back to the garden later, but Pasifika families are also putting down roots here.
I can't give you a number, but I can say that it's growing.
So, time for some introductions.
My name is Percy Tilialo and I work for TET as a Pacific Outreach Navigator.
TET is the Tangata Atumotu Trust, an organisation that offers health and social services to Pasifika families in Canterbury. Percy's been in this area for 14 years and seen a few changes.
I used to know my own Samoan community because I am a Samoan. I used to know everyone, but not anymore. Yeah, it's a huge community now for the Pacific.
Hello.
Hello, you must be Semi.
Yes, I am.
And now our other guest.
My name is Samisoni Ratuniyauravu. Yeah, originally from Fiji. I've been living in New Zealand since 2012.
Semi and his wife moved straight from Fiji to Queenstown and then trained as Salvation Army ministers in Wellington.
This was our first appointment.
And what do you think of Ashburton?
Oh, loving it. Nice small town. Love the people. Nice kind of family vibe to it.
Like Percy, he's seen the number of Pasifika families jump. He reckons from about 15 families to 50, many of them getting jobs at the meatworks or on local farms. But of course, with a new country come new expenses. Now, it's around this time that I make a bit of a cheeky suggestion. Would you mind if we turned off the heat pump just because of the noise? Sorry, I'm being very demanding. To be fair, the heat pump was noisy. But one thing about Ashburton in Mid-Canterbury, when I visited, is it's cold.
Yeah, I guess one of the main challenges is to be warm during winter here in Ashburton.
So tip 1 is all about adjustment, how to get comfy in your new home.
A helpful tip, one of the things that I found as an islander, to help cost with our heat pumps, set the mode into heating, turn it down to 19 degrees, and either have it on one fan or just one of those silent fan.
He lets it run at that temperature during the day.
It just warms the house up. For us, that has saved us a whole lot of money.
And for Percy, leaving the tropical climate of Samoa was also a big shock.
When I arrived here, it was so different. Even in winter as well, it's too cold that we have to use the heaters.
Her tip is pretty similar to Semi's, and she reckons don't turn the heat pump off.
Because it will take 6 hours for the heater every day to reheat again, and that will cost a lot of power. So I do that, and it actually helps.
Percy keeps a close eye on the unit price of her power. She does her laundry at night and tries to limit the time she spends in the shower. That's a big difference from back home.
Because in the island, we can just take an hour to shower, but here, it's hot water that we use.
Here, it's more like a 5-minute shower. But try telling that to Percy's 5 children. And also, how do you know when 5 minutes is up?
I give tips to my kids, sing happy birthday while you're showering, knowing that if it's 3 times you sing it, that's enough.
When their birthday rolls around, it won't feel so special anymore.
But it won't work now. The kids love staying in the shower just to keep them warm when it comes to winter.
Maybe the answer is just have a really long shower as a treat when it's your actual birthday. Of course, another way of keeping toasty is just throwing another layer of clothing on.
If they're wanting to buy new warmer gears, I encourage them to go see some of our op shops because they have some good warm gears for cheap.
Having said that, Semi doesn't take his own advice. He doesn't need to.
I'm one of those weird Pacific Island people that I love the cold, I love the winter. So most of the time you'll see me in shorts and a jumper.
Although he was wearing trousers when I met him, so it must have been really cold. Now, part of being comfy in a new country is also about getting your head around the systems, and that includes money and what you get paid. For Semi, this has been challenging. Back home, he says the minimum pay rate was 5 Fijian dollars, which is the equivalent of about 4 New Zealand dollars, or maybe a bit less, which meant he didn't really know how to save.
There's no such thing as savings. That wasn't part of growing up because we had to live paycheck to paycheck.
So then working in a place like New Zealand,
Getting that amount of money, sometimes your mind wanders and things are cheap. I guess KFC would be the main one, takeaways, and we would just go for that.
so it's been a learning curve to put the money towards the right things.
When you get that amount of money, you've got things to spend it on in terms of bills and stuff.
There's a different rhythm. More bills are paid weekly here in New Zealand as opposed to monthly in Fiji. And of course, the expenses themselves are different.
Gas, hot water, even a bond to get into your new property. All of that is just kind of like something new.
So how to juggle all of that? Well, Semi reckons he's learnt a lot about budgeting from his wife. Funnily enough, we've heard a lot about thrifty wives in this season. He also says, as a visual learner, he finds it helpful to see all the incomings and outgoings on paper.
Just to see, okay, I've spent my money here, I've spent my money there. If I cut down on that, I get to save this. And just seeing the total amount, actually, I can make it work.
His tip to the local Pasifika families is to use free budgeting templates, many of which you can find online, and he helps them to access those.
You'll be surprised, I guess, to see how much you've saved at the end of a month.
And this information is going to be useful for the next generation. For example, Semi has 4 sons, and he started passing on his thrifty tips. Here today, playing on the jungle gym, I found 10-year-old Ifereimi, who's got his own thoughts.
Saving money, not spending it on stuff that we don't really need, just like food and clothes, just to make sure we have enough.
And what about you down there? What's your name?
Samisoni.
Samisoni is 4. What do you think about ways of saving money? You got any hot tips? At this point, Ifereimi starts whispering in his little brother's ear. Did you just get a tip from your brother?
Yeah,
What's your tip then?
I spend it on red stuff.
So there you go. Don't spend your money on weird stuff. Sounds like a good tip for life. While the kids play, we have a wee look in the next room, which has been set up as a resource for the local community.
So this is the food bank supermarket, and the idea is that people come in, they get to shop for their own food, for their own kai.
So on to tip 2, and in a broad sense, this is a tip that's hard for a lot of people, myself included. It's basically about going easy on yourself. Moving to a new place is a big deal and a costly exercise, and it's okay to get a hand from time to time.
I guess for us as Pacific Islanders, it's hard to ask for help. And so we just try and hide it and just put a smile on our face. But I encourage them, look, we're here to help.
The number of people who use the food bank can vary, but it can get up to 50 or 60 families a week. And they don't get pre-made food parcels. Instead, as Semi said, the food bank is laid out like a supermarket. And that's important.
It's mana enhancing, that you get to pick your own food. That sense of, I guess, ownership has come back to them.
It's also a way for the team to connect with Pasifika families and find out what other needs they might have.
Seeing that wall break down and just having proper conversation.
That way they can make sure the whole family is getting the help they need.
Especially when kids are involved, we'd hate to see kids suffer because parents are embarrassed to ask for help. That has been, I guess, a major help to some of our Pasifika families.
So looking around the food bank,
We've got spaghetti, baked beans, toiletries, and then we've also got meat in the freezers as well.
these are the kind of foods that are popular, but beans and pulses, not so much.
I guess with beans and lentils, I think people don't know what to do with them, actually.
It's also a good tip for people who donate to food banks to try and get a steer for what kind of products might be useful. And now, still with that theme of going easy on yourself, another way to ease pressure might be to manage family expectations. A lot of Pasifika workers are supporting families here, but also feel a responsibility to send money home to extended family.
In our culture, it's hard to say no, especially when families are asking. So for me, I've learned to be honest and just let my family know in Fiji, look, we can't make it work this week or next week. We've got bills to pay as well here.
Semi advises being really upfront about when you're likely to be able to send money, rather than giving your family false hope.
Just being honest with them, I think that for me that helps, and family actually understand.
And speaking of back home,
as you can see, some of our Pacific Island families that have been part of the garden, so they've planted a taro.
tip 3 is about bringing a little bit of it into your new environment.
Which is quite cool actually. They have, I guess, part of home here in Ashburton.
Thrift has looked at a few different gardens, but what makes this stand out is its international flavour.
It comprises of all different cultures. So we've got pumpkin, silver beet, tomatoes.
And that might also inspire more Pasifika families to grow their own veggies at home. Percy already does this.
Know what to grow in winter and summer. Yeah, so I'm still doing that. I quite often grow silver beets in winter because they can stay alive in winter.
Others have been less successful, so now she grows a lot during the summer and puts it aside for the winter.
With tomato itself, I learned that you can boil them and then preserve. Yeah, that's the word, preserve.
Because, of course, there's not a lot of call for preserving in Samoa, where fruit and veggies grow all year round. The taro here in Ashburton will be another experiment, and Semi's hoping for the best.
But you never know, Anything can happen.
You're sounding a bit sceptical there.
No, it's good. It's good. I think, for me personally, I think it's just so cool to see a community garden where all the cultures are present. Just walking past and seeing a taro plant, oh, sweet. I wonder who planted that.
And you never know, in a small town, it might just get people talking.
Sometimes it could be a conversation starter within our Pasifika community.
And for other groups.
You get to teach other cultures about what have you grown. Just those kind of little nuggets to pass on to other cultures just contributes to the growth of the garden as well.
Maybe the growth of the community too.
Growth of the community, yeah, definitely.
So let's recap. When you arrive from another country, especially a warmer one, do what you need to get comfortable. Talk to locals about heating tips, power usage, and where to find the best op shops. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It may only be for a short time. If you face financial expectations from family back home, give them honest information about when they can expect payments as you juggle your own bills here. And bring a taste of home into your new country. Plant some familiar flavours, learn about new ones, and share your knowledge. It'll help to build a community. Next time on Thrift, how you can get around the country, have a bit of a cheap holiday without spending too much. I go on a thrifty roadie and I talk to some people who've gone a long way on a shoestring. For that episode and others, follow and listen to Thrift on your favourite podcast app. Many thanks to my guests in this episode, Percy Tilialo and Samisoni Ratuniyauravu, and his sons, Ifereimi and Samisoni. This podcast is produced and presented by me, Katy Gosset. Alex Harmer is the mix master, and Tim Watkin is the executive producer of podcasts and series. If you'd like to get in touch, email us at thrift@rnz.co.nz. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite.